Hey guys, welcome to episode 15. Today we're going to be looking at automating the second part for our complete the phase 4, the electromagnetic field. And for that part we're going to actually need to make some the magnetic control rods. So if we just have a look quickly at the magnetic field generator, we're going to need the versatile frame which we're currently making, electromagnetic control rods and batteries. So these are the two items that we need to automate on our chain. We possibly need to increase this slightly as well because I think we're currently producing 2.5 as a max, but we'll look at that in the Excel spreadsheet. We're going to have a look to see what buildings and what chains we need to improve on. But this is the plan for this episode: sort out the electromagnetic control rods, the batteries, and then automate the part. Okay, let me take you on a little tour of the changes I've made. So the first noticeable one is you'll see I've actually done signposts everywhere throughout the factory. So you can see what parts and the quantity of what's being made when. So it's quite nice in terms of knowing which part it is, so I don't have to run up to the machines anymore to have a look. And I've done that on all levels and at all places in the factory. So you can see it just at a glance, which is pretty cool. The only thing that I haven't done is at the start where all the smelters are in terms of their numbers and what's being produced there, but I'll get to that. But the factory for the parts has been updated. So I think let's have a look now. Let's dive into the spreadsheet and just plan the build for today, and then we can see what we're going to need and what quantities need to be amended. Cool, so taking a look at the spreadsheet, you'll see that I've added the different new sections here. One's for the magnetic field generator, the battery, and the electromagnetic rods. So those are all the places. A couple of suggestions from peeps on the comments, which has been great. So I've actually noted on the spreadsheet which ones have a 0. And if you, for example, make something outlandish, like let's make this a 10, for example, you'll see it actually highlights now to show which one's in the negative, so it's easier to spot and talk through. So I think that was an awesome suggestion. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's have a look now. So to make one magnetic field generator, because that's what we want, we're going to be short on batteries. Now obviously we're not making batteries, so let's look at that. And if you do 0.5 here, that's going to give us 15 batteries, and we still manage to stay in our limits of what our machine can make. But obviously you'll see that we got 0 on the versatile frame and 0 on the rods. So let's go through to the electromagnetic rod, also increase that, but then we need more AR limiters. So we go through to the AR limiters, let's increase that. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the stator. So where is our stators? Cool, so we can increase that to 7. So now everything's either 0 or above, which is great in terms of our production. We might need to actually up the versatile frame a little bit. Let's maybe make that 1, and then at least we're getting more quantity there. And then the electromagnetic rod, let's make that maybe 2. Okay, so if we go 2 there, we need more AR limiters. Let's make that 3. And then let's go for the stator. And let's maybe make that 8. So that's looking really good in terms of that. I think that's perfect in terms of the planning. Now the problem is that we're going to be short copper sheets and we're going to be short steel pipes. So in the previous episode I actually beefed up the steel beams by increasing the steel from 240 to 480, so we can do that for the steel pipes, which will solve that problem. And then in terms of the copper sheet, having the actual MK3 miner, we can actually go ahead and do that upgrade, so we can sort that out. And I've actually already done that just to save time, and I'll walk you through that now in game, and then we can come back and update the spreadsheet. Okay, jumping back into game, let's go to the starting location here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So what I've done is I've gone to the first copper nodes, and I've slapped on the MK3 miner for the one right at the top. So if I just shoot up there, this one's actually now producing at a whopping 780. So we're carrying the maximum that the bulb can actually handle in terms of that for the copper, which is fantastic. So now the problem has been, how do we deal with all of this? So if I go show you that now in terms of the chain, we've had to severely bump up the smelters. And you can see, look how glorious this is, guys. Fantastic. Okay, so we got all these in this part of the factory. All of these making copper at 780 from the ores coming in to 780 of the copper ingots going out. So they're flying off the belt, quite literally. And then what I've done is I've now fleshed up the copper sheets. Previously we were only making on the bottom and this top row over here. I've now doubled it on the other side as well. So we're making a whopping 390 copper sheets per minute now. So I think that's going to be awesome in terms of expanding the factory a little bit more. So if we jump back into the spreadsheet and we go and update our figures in terms of that, you'll see that now instead of having 24, we actually got 39 constructors. And with having the 39 constructors, we're putting out 390 sheets. And that's great because we're now 122 clear. So the only thing we've got to do now to prep for the build is just to go and do the steel pipes. So let's fly off now, go to the location down by the coal, and we'll increase the steel pipes, and then we can get back to the buildings. Okay, back at the hub. These are essentially the lines that we want to upgrade, the one for the coal and the one for the iron. So those are the two that we're going to boost up shortly. Only problem is we need 2 MK miners for that. So we got enough in terms of the portable miners, but we don't have enough in terms of the fused frames. So let's use our ticket and go buy some. When we eventually get the nitrogen going, then we won't have to worry about it. But for now, we've got enough cash to worry about the tickets. So let's just buy some of those. Oh, and a mug. It was suggested by one of the guys in the comments, thanks for that by the way, that the sword was taking up too much space. So I mentioned that I'd get a coffee cup going. Let's do it. Much better. Okay, let's drop down and then we can go and upgrade those 2 miners. Okay, so I think this is the one that we upgraded from last episode. Essentially for the steel for the beams. So that's not the one. It's going to be this one on this side. So let's do that one. And then make sure it's running in at 480. So let's overclock it. Nice. Okay, next on the list is the iron. Let's go and do that one. Okay, and that's really running at 480. That's perfect. All the belts have been upgraded, so we don't have to worry about that. Cool, those are done and out the way now. Let's actually head back to the forges, and then we can throw in 3 new forges for the processing. And then we'll head through to the steel side where we're producing the factory, and then we'll beef up that production. Let's place down the extra foundries, guys. Let's do it. Guess we need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice, let's link these all up. Okay, all those linked up. Let's go and put on the overflow settings and link them up to the power. Okay, all of those connected. Yeah, then the last thing to do is just connect the fronts. I mean, obviously, we're just going to copy the recipes. That would be helpful. Okay, I'm going to give this a couple of minutes to back up, and let's just make sure everything's running efficiently. Yeah, it's been about 2 minutes. It seems like all of these machines are slowly stockpiling. Obviously, these 93 and 87, etc., that'll catch up. Let's go and use the extra ones that we now got in place. So it's quite easy to spot them in the factory of where we're going. So let's go and head over to the pipe section, and then we can essentially double up the constructors. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 constructors here. So let's do another 8 on that side. I think we're going to be strapped for space because I think we've only got 7 blocks here, but the last one we can just overclock with a slug power shard. So let's just do that. Of course, I'm just going to place 7 here, and we'll overclock the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then let's just overclock this one. We'll do that at 200%. Cool. If we had just had an extra row of space, so I know for next time when I'm planning out my version 1 build, just need to have, let's see how many floor spaces. And I'd also like to have space in the middle so that we can actually put down signs for walkways. So we need them at least 16 wide, just for the manufacturers. So I'll bear that in mind when I do it again next time, which will be awesome. I'm looking forward to the 1 release. Not sure if I'm going to go for a mega factory build or a more component or compartmentalized build with different size factories. Still debating. I'll see what I'm feeling close to the time. Let's link up all the power. Also definitely learned I need to make a blueprint all of these. And only 1 machine, not the 2, 3 or 6 or whatever I'm making actually at the moment. If you go for a mega factory build like this, obviously, if you're going to go for the more compartmentalized builds, then it makes sense to do the bigger blueprints with more, and you can just underclock and overclock. But that's what makes it so excitingly different, man. Okay, so let's go and set all of these. I'm just going to copy that, paste these. And then just need to set them to all be pipes. Okay, and that's all been doubled. So let's head over to the spreadsheet, and we can do some updates there in terms of the steel. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so now we've updated our steel pipes. We don't have 8 anymore, we've got 16 during the production. That means that we've essentially doubled up to 320. So let's upgrade that. Let's also go back in game and then just update the sign as well to have the extra. Cool, that's all linked up. So I suppose the next phase is let's go and have another quick look at the spreadsheet now. Now we can actually go and plan the build. All of these ones with the numbers next to it, these are the new machines that we need to go and set up. So I think let's look at the ones that we already have running, and we can go and optimize those, and then we'll throw in the new machines. So let's go and do the assemblers for the stators. We'll go and do the AI limiter. We'll go do... Is that it? Yeah, and then we're going to throw in the 3 new machines, the electromagnetic, battery, and the magnetic field generator. The other thing which I didn't actually talk about is if we just jump back into game quickly, and I'll just take you on a little detour, is we were missing the extra sulfur. So the battery's got different recipes, and if we look at the battery recipe, there's a standard one for the classic battery, and that requires ammonia solution and sulfuric acid, whereas you can get this alternative recipe, which is what we've got, that makes more batteries and obviously isn't as stringent on the liquid requirements. So this is the one we're going to use, and the only thing that we're missing from the chain is obviously the sulfur. Now if you remember a couple of episodes back, we've still got the sulfur and the coal there that's been reserved for the black smoke and all that stuff in terms of making our artillery and bombs and things. So definitely keen on doing that. But what I've done in the meanwhile is I've actually gone through and I've created a separation where the sulfur is at the bottom, and rather than merging those two 240s into a 480 and running on the belt, I've actually put them onto two different belts, and now this one's actually joined on the top here, so we can use this one right at the top for the batteries, which is what we're going to get stuck into when we start beefing up the factory now. But yeah, let me get ready from my side, get the materials that we need, and we can start doing the amendments to the factory. So I've got all the materials that we need, just making a quick check on the spreadsheet just to see which ones we're going to be editing. So we're going to be changing the stators, the versatile frame, and the AI limiters, so the three sets of machines that we currently have running. And then we're obviously going to introduce the three new machines. So let's head through and start off with the versatile frame, and then we can beef that up. So let's jump back into the game here. Okay, and then let's head through to the versatile frame, which is right here. And that's a simple matter of just making that 100%. So that one's done. Next one on the list is the AI limiter. So we're currently producing 9 from the AI limiter. And what we have to do is we have to produce 15. So we need 3 assemblers all running at 100%. So one of these is going to be underclocked, and it's that one over there that we can see. Or all of them. Okay, so it's all of them running at 100%. So that's a nice easy change. Okay, so that's 15 now. So let's just update this. I'm just go back and actually update the versatile frame as well. So let's just swing back quick. Okay, we're producing 5. Okay, what's next on the to-do list? It is the status. So we're going to go from 5 to 8. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think none of these are underclocked. Just check. Cool, no. And then I think we got a blueprint for 3, but I don't know if these are facing the right way. I don't think so, no, because that's the way they will have to place it. So for now, let's just stick these down. So we need an additional 3. Let's go copy the recipe. Link up all the fronts. And then just copy the overflow settings. And then those should all be linked up. Nice. Okay, now we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we've got 40 stators coming out per minute, which is great. Let's update our sign. Okay, so that's all the machines that we currently built. Now we need space for the next 3 sets. So I think this is good enough space on either side here. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's focus on this space here, there, and then we'll start building the additional machines we need. Ready to start building. So what I've done in the meanwhile is I've gone through that side of the factory and I've ran the sulfur from the top belt that we said came through from down there by the train station. And I've just literally run that through the factory here. But I haven't linked it up to any storage because I don't want sulfur just going straight into any storage bin. That doesn't make sense. But we're going to be using that for the batteries. So let's go make the electromagnetic rods over there. Let's make batteries over here. And then we'll make our electromagnetic field generator over there. So let's go and get our blueprint. We'll slap this down. Okay, and this is going to be making the electromagnetic rods. That we need stators and AI limiters. And you'll see what I've done is I've actually linked those already down there for us. So we can just drop these down. So let's link them up. There we go, that's better. Wasn't linking correctly. This one linked correctly. Doesn't look like any parts came up. Let's try it again. Went one too down. One too many down, sorry. Okay, let's link these ones up. Okay, so our parts are going to build up. Let's link this up to power. Okay, and then it's our electromagnetic. Let's now link this to the sushi belt. Yeah, and that's going to send down the rods. That's great. So I think I don't know if I want to go and link the storage so we don't waste anything for now. I suppose it doesn't matter if we sync some of the items, so that's not going to be a problem. Okay, so next on the list is going to be the batteries. So let's get our manufacturer ready. And this is going to be making batteries. So we need sulfur, clad, plastic, and wire. And I've already linked those up in position for us. So this is going to be the sulfur. This one over here is the clad. And this one over here is the plastic. So that one's the rubber. This is the plastic bolt. Yeah, there it comes. So let's link up the plastic. And then the last one we need is just the wire. Which one is that one? This one here. I think this is the wire at the bottom. Yeah, that's the wire there. Cool, let's link that up. Oh, okay, it's going to get some old clad sheets. Cool. Let's put that into our manufacturer and then link it up to power. Okay, and let's set the overflows. Those are set. Oh, it's the power, man. Silly me. No, I don't like that going across there. Let's bring the power from this side. We got power in the front here. Great, making batteries. Okay, looking at the spreadsheet, there's a mistake I've made. The assemblers, we actually need 2 for the electromagnetic rod. So we'll go and build an extra one that side. And then we can underclock the battery to 50%. So let's head into game, we'll slap down that extra one and then underclock the batteries. Cool, so I've underclocked the battery and I've built the extra one for the assembler for the electromagnetic rod. So let's get started with the final one for the field generator. Let's get our blueprint. Okay, and then this one's going to be making the electromagnetic field generator. And then let's link these up. So it's the first frame, electromagnetic rod, and the battery. So those are the 2 ones that we just finished building. And then the versatile framework that we upgraded. So let's get this all linked up to our belt. So we only need 3. It's going to be these 3. So let's have a look and link these up. So that's the versatile frame, electromagnetic, here's this other one. Cool, and that's the battery. Okay, let's connect those to the manufacturer. And let's link it up to power. Awesome. That's going to start building up. And then we just need to link this to our sushi belt. Oh, we finally automated the second part. That's exciting, guys. Cool, so that's going to start building now. Let's go down to our storage and just make sure that we make allowances for the 3 new items we're producing. The rods, the battery, and the generator. Okay, so let's delete the sink. Throw in our 3 new storages. Okay, let's make this one our field generator. Then we'll do the electromagnetic. And then we'll do the batteries. Cool. Then, instead of having the awesome sink here, because we're running out of space and I keep having to delete it, maybe it's the best idea to actually put it around the back side here. And you can just have the awesome sink here. Let's just fit under the roof, let's see. Just, that's perfect. And then we'll just have this one going for overflow to the left. Cool. Let's put in our signs and our notices in front. Cool, that's the images done. That's just the numbers. Okay, we're producing one of the electro or the field generator. Then the electromagnetic rod. Okay, we're producing 8 of those. But how many do we have left over after building? Let me just check in the spreadsheet. So we have 7 left. So let's make that 7. And then this one is going to be 15 because we're making 15 batteries. So the electromagnetic rod, I'm just going to check that quick because we're producing 8 and we're just using 1 in terms of that. Okay, so we're getting way excess here. I think what the plan for that from my side was to actually prepare that for the nuclear power plant, which is going to be coming up. So, okay, then this one's the battery. Okay, so we got the battery, we got the electro, and we got the field gen. Let's maybe link up the electro just like what we did for the director assembly. And that can just tick away. Oh, just too long, really. That looks cool. I like it. Look at those. Those are obviously on the backlog when we were doing the sync. I just want to make sure I get off those unwanted items so they don't clog the building. Nice. Cool, and there goes our first 3. Okay, let's close this up. And that's just going to keep ticking away, just like the director control assembly. Let's just check all the inputs and stuff again. Just want it to be... oh, you see? Okay, there's a problem here. Let's have a look why those are coming through. Okay, so what we've done is we've set those to overflow. This needs to be set to any. So what's going to happen now is this would have to clog up completely, then it would only sync. So we've got all our parts that we want to be defined, so it doesn't matter that now any can go that way, because everything will, batteries will come, electro, all our parts that we've actually got on our queue, everything else will be synced from that side. Cool. So I think that's that, guys. We've got the electromagnetic, we've got the field, we've got the batteries all hooked up. We can maybe play with some settings and some tweaks. I think the only thing, just to finish off this episode, I'd like to do is let's slap on a roof, or extend the roof that side and put on our signs. So let's do that. I just need to go and get some more concrete. Okay, and then let's get our signs. I can just go copy this one. Go copy the settings from this in terms of layout and imagery. Okay, then this is going to be our field gen. And we're producing 1. Let's copy that, paste it here. Okay, let's do the other 2. Oh, copied instead of pasting. Okay, this is our battery, and we're doing 15 of them. Then the last one, electromagnetic rods, and we should be doing 8 of those. And then see how those are pulling. We have 4 there for the side, and that's getting the AI limiters. Cool, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this load balance, get a whole lot of parts filled up here for the electromagnetic and battery, because obviously we're not going to see anything come into our storage until these are filled, because we've got the overflow any on the settings for the splitter. So these should all get completely filled up first, and then it'll start backlogging on this network, and then we should see it come into the storage. So I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes Just make sure that the storage is all linked. Also, I've given it some time. It's been about 30 minutes, and I'll go into that why now. So we've got some batteries building up, and we've got some electromagnetic, which is great. What I did notice is the power was varying quite a lot when I was looking at one of the poles earlier. It was getting a little bit excessive in terms of the bounces, and normally you're going to have some variation because each time a train pulls off and goes up to speed, it uses a couple more energy until it gets to its max. And then the other side of the coin is that also the awesome sinks, whenever they kick on, they eat power and sometimes they don't. So for example, if I run up to this machine here, you'll see that this one's not eating all the time. Same thing as this one. This one's also not eating all the time. So this is varied in terms of its capacity to eat items. Like you'll see this one's not even on by the looks of it. And then an item comes in and then it turns on. So that's what accounts for some of the variance. But the variance that we were seeing was quite high. So I did a little inspection around the factory and then I found out a couple of things which I'll share with you guys. First of all, if that happens to you, go and check all your miners. I had a problem here where this bolt was putting out 480 sulfur per minute, but we're only eating 22.5. So I've gone to that source location and I've underclocked it to have the same requirement that we need in terms of the bolt here. I also noticed that the steel factory, or the items that are producing the pipes for the stators that we enhanced, I came down to the factory to the miner down there and the miner over there, and I increased the coal to 480 and the iron to 480. But the problem I had is that the steel pipes for the constructors that I made down this side, they weren't even linked to mergers on the front. They just backlogged in the machine all the way and were causing obviously them to click on and off all the time, which is causing problems. So none of these constructors had mergers in front. I had to go and build all those mergers because those were all clogged. So now that those aren't clogged anymore, we're going to have to get the backlog going in terms of the requirements for the steel ingots, and those are going to build up over time because the machines back at the base for the forges were idle as well, so it was causing a ricochet effect through the factory. So now that those are all linked up, it should be correct. I'm just trying to see now why this one isn't getting items. I'm presuming it's just because those forges have now kicked on and it's slowly going to build up. This one's idle. Why is this one idle when it's got items coming to the back of it? Does have power, is connected. Don't know what's going on. That item's not going in there. Okay, let's go there again. Okay, it looked like something had stuck there. Maybe I'd had a conveyor pole or something before that. Because let's just go and double check the factory's at least producing in terms of the steel ingots. And then I think we can wrap up this episode. Just want to be sure everything's running optimally. Okay, so here's our one set of foundries for the steel beams, and here's our other set of foundries for the pipes. Definitely looks like something is backing up here. I'm guessing there's a bolt that hasn't been upgraded. Let's have a quick look. Definitely has to be the case because we are producing a lot, it's just not consuming enough. There's something that hasn't been upgraded. Okay, so it's definitely this one hidden inside here. There we go. Great. Okay, so that's going to all backlog, get rid of all of that. So that bolt's going in at 780, so these should fill up very quickly in terms of fixing it. So let's give it a couple of seconds. This one over here. Again, this one's got items coming in here, but it's actually not processing any of them. That's so strange. That's been how the bolts were placed when I originally did it. Because there's no problem with the splitters. Those are all good. At least these are starting to backlog. Let's just make sure. Yeah, this one's getting its items. Cool. Let me give it 2 minutes and then I'll be back now. And then we can see just to make sure everything's running here. And then we'll check the power pole again. It's been a little while, and I've now checked the machines. They're all producing much better, 100% efficiency they'll climb up to. They're all getting steel ingots, which was obviously what was causing the problem in the initial place. So I think that's great. That's all linked up, and slowly those will come right. And if we look at the poll now, you'll see what I mean about the min variance. These sort of items are the, or variances is what I'm expecting to see, not these massive spikes. So as these machines all stabilize, and the inputs and outputs, you'll see that that's going to get a lot better in terms of the flat lining here, just with these little variances, which is what I expected. Cool, I think the last thing I want to do to wrap up this episode is go on a spending spree. I've been dying to do it. So let's go and grab our tickets and then go buy every item from the shop. I'm so keen. Hey, got our tickets. Let's go print out the additional ones that we've been making. Cool. Let the spree begin. Okay, let's start an organization. Buy all of those. Management. Those. What else are we missing? Walls, gates. Be quite nice to actually go through and do the windows by the power plant, and we're going to have to go and enhance the power plant in the next episode in anticipation for more items, and then we'll see from there. But I think we can use the recipe that I got for that diluted. Actually, that would be quite cool, but I'll take you through that next time. Let's get all of these done. This is awesome. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, we don't need these actually. Olga's going a little too crazy. We've already got the coffee mug and we've already got the filters. Those are parts. Cool. Let's buy, guys. 126 tickets. The boombox. Wouldn't mind a little boombox action. Awesome. Let's just double check everything. All of those done. Nice. Architecture. Yeah, customizer. Oh, we missed some. We've already got a boombox. Statues obviously we can't afford now because that's going to get progressively more expensive, but we'll get there. Cool, I think that's it. So that's everything, guys. Shop all sorted. Cool, I think that's perfect to wrap up this episode. Next episode we'll focus on extending the power plant. So what I did is I've actually done more hard drive research. Part of that hard drive research is I got something called diluted fuel. So I think it's the perfect time to start using the blender. And if we have a quick look at the fuel, it means that we can actually create a lot more fuel from heavy oil residue. So we'll head down to the power plant over that side, stack it up in terms of doubling the output possibly, and then we'll look how much of that diluted fuel we can change on that factory to make it produce more electricity for us. Cool, thanks for joining, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.